Hi ladies and gents, this is Miss P. I am doing your quick little video for assignment 1. So just so you are aware, there's a few things within Excel that you should be aware of. So when you click on insert, you can see that you can insert charts. You can also insert an equation or symbol that might be helpful for you. So I've just taken some sample data. Essentially what I have done is I have found some cell solutions and I have put in some data for bread mold growth. So I need to go ahead and label the table with a heading. So table 1, and it will be the effect of various salt solutions, so NaCl. And I might list those, so 0%, 5%, 10%, and then 15% on bread mold, which is measured in millimeters. And then we have to go ahead and put, so I'm on the Insert tab, I need to go to Symbol, and then I need this plus or minus, because remember I need that uncertainty. So plus or minus 0.01 millimeters, or let's do 0.1 millimeters. It would depend on the ruler that you're using. Since I don't have a ruler here, I'm just making up an uncertainty. You should not just make up an uncertainty. That won't work out well. I also am going to need the average after day 10. So you'll see that I have some spacing issues now. So first things first, I'm going to highlight this area. I'm going to right click and then I'm going to format cells. So I'm going to go to this alignment tab and I want to wrap the text so that it only fits inside this box, and I also want to merge the cells together and click OK. Now normally this would have been super close, and so you can see that it's listed all up above, but you can't see it all here. So you have to go over to the side between 1 and 2. You see how my arrow changes from that point arrow to that, and just go ahead and drag that down so that you can see the entire title. Then you'll also notice that this one is sticking out into the H column, and I don't want it to do that. So I'm just going to go Format Cells again, and I'm going to just click Wrap Text. I don't want to merge cells because I don't want it to be too wide. I just want to wrap it so that it kicks it all into one category. If I then want to adjust the category or the column width, I can do that after that. These are all heading titles, so I'll highlight those or bold those, and I'll bold those. I also want to put a border in just for aesthetics, so I highlight everything I want to border in. I right click again. Go to Format Cells, go to Border, and then outside and inside, and we're good to go there. Now, how do I calculate average? Well, I have two options. One, I can just go up to this function because it inserts a function. Now, be careful that you're not over here. You want to be in the cell that you want the function to go. So I click that FX, and then it says type a brief description. So I want to do the average. So you'll notice when I hit go, the first thing that comes up is average. So I can just click OK, and then I can highlight the number that I want, and then click OK. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that, or I can do it this way. I can just go right to the cell that I want. I can click an equals sign and type the word average. You will then notice that the second one that pops up is average. I just double click on it and highlight. So it gives me the exact same number either way you want to do it. The equal sign tells the Excel that you're going to start a function. Otherwise, if you don't want to remember the equal sign, you can just go right there. Now you'll notice that my mouse looks like a plus sign at this point, a white plus sign. And you'll notice once I get to that green box on the corner that it changes to a black plus sign. So white, get to that green box on the corner, it goes to black. Once it's at black, I can click my mouse, the left side of my mouse, and drag down, and I will do that same formula for each of these cells. So now I have an average after day 10. Now, anything that you process, meaning requires a formula, needs to be highlighted. I use yellow always. You can, I guess, use any color as long as you're consistent. So average is now highlighted. It then says to make a line graph. I don't actually need to make a line graph using the averages. I need to make a line graph using this data. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just highlight the first day of data. And I'm going to go to Insert, and I'm going to pick Line Graph, right? All right, so now I have the first line of data. I want to now insert the second, the third, and the fourth. So I can go right-click, Select Data. Now, this one needs a name. It says Series 1 there, so I can name it 0%. And then click OK. Then I can add one. First of all, it asks for a series name, so the next one will be 5%. And you see where it says series values here. I want to get rid of the bracket and the 1. I want to leave the equal sign. And I want to highlight the next set of numbers and click OK. Now you'll notice, if I drag this over, that I've created 2 lines on the graph. Now I can add a third line. Series name is 10%. Add the third one. Notice that I'm making sure, oops, except that I did that wrong. So highlight it all or delete it all. So this is 10% here. Get rid of that, then do this. Notice that I'm not including the average numbers when I'm doing this. That's really important because you don't want to graph raw data and average data at the same time. We use a line graph specifically for when we're doing something over time. We use a bar graph or a scatter plot graph when we are comparing something that's not necessarily over time. Now, you will notice I need a legend, so I need to click OK, because I need to know what in the world those numbers are. So I will go to Add Chart Elements, and I need a legend. And I usually stick it over on the right-hand side. So here's my legend. Now I know what those lines mean. You'll also notice that I need some title axes and a chart title. So axes titles, horizontal and vertical. So this one is going to be days. Or so I should put time in days, right? Because that's my units. And then over here would be bread mold growth in millimeters. And then I need a chart title. And I can roughly use this exact same title, except that I need to change the word table to graph. So there we go. Now, it looks pretty good, except for the fact that it says day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I actually took data on 1, 5, 6, 8, 10. So those days don't match. The bread mold growth matches, and I have renamed all of the titles, so we should be good there. So what I have to do is I actually have to retype 1, 5, 6, 8, 10. And the reason why is if I go ahead and highlight this data, Excel doesn't know how to graph day 1, day 5, day 8, so on and so forth. And so it won't work very well. That's also why I can't put 3.2 millimeters in, because it doesn't know how to graph millimeters. Do you see how it dropped down to 0? Because Excel doesn't know how to graph millimeters. So you just have to put numbers and make sure that the title has told me what these numbers are in. So if I go ahead and right click again and select data, this is where we added those numbers. It's also where we edited the series names. Do you see where it says horizontal category right here and it says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Well, we don't want it to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so we click edit and we highlight the numbers that we want it to say instead. 1, 5, 6, 8, and 10. We click OK, we click OK, and now magically it says 1, 5, 6, 8, 10. This is a completed graph. You have data on bean plants. So go ahead and make your table. Make sure to highlight your process data. You will also be using the same data for assignment 2, so don't get rid of it. Make sure also that you have your name somewhere present up at the top. If you need to insert a column, just right click and click insert, and then now voila, there's a column on top, so now you can type your name and your hour. Hope that was helpful. Good luck.